This tutorial is on how to sew a trouser part 1. This is going to be a step-by-step video, so the part 2 is also coming. Let's get straight into the video. I already cut the bodice, I already cut the trouser, I already cut everything. So this is my waistband in my hand, as you guys can see here. This is my waistband, you can see that. And I'm going to show you everything that we've cut in the cutting aspect before we go into the sewing. This is my main trouser. I already fold the pocket area, you can see that. So I want to introduce everything to you guys before we go to the sewing machine and do the coupling. This is my pocket. This is my pocket square. I already cut the pocket area. You can see that. So we're going to couple all of this all together on the sewing machine. And this is my zip cover. I show you guys during the cutting process of this why you have to keep it. And also this is my pocket square. This is the cover of my pocket. So these all of the things in which you're going to cut before we get into the sewing of the trouser. And this is my belt loop. So I usually cut this at 1.5 inches. So when I fold it, I'll be having like a total of like half inches in total. I'll be showing you guys all the process to that. So let's go to the sewing machine and do this step by step as always. So make sure you give the video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're yet to do that. Let's go.
Yeah, so sorry, I had to change my camera lens. I don't know, I'm having an it's kind of like blurry sort of, so I decided to change the camera lens. So here, this is what we have so far. We have our pockets, we have our band. This will be the pocket cover, don't forget. This will be the strap, and this is our trouser. But first and foremost, let me start with my pockets, because that will be the first thing you'll be fixing. So I'll be taking this front part. So the very first thing you'll be doing is your pocket cover. This, just make sure you look for the front part. This is the front and this is the wrong side of the fabric. I'll be placing it right here. Don't make a mistake of that. So, and I'll start the stitch. Sorry, before you get to the M, can you see, before you get to this edge right here, you have to fold that part. This is quite fast, but basically because I'm teaching you guys how to do it, so I'll be taking quite a few time. So I'm going to stitch this. So let me show you that part. So before you get to this edge part, you're going to fold it inside. Just fold it in. You see that? Start the stitch. After you run the stitch, then you start the stitch straight up. Particular point. So the next one, don't forget we're stitching, this is the round edge, as you can see. This is the round edge, but we're stitching from the straight upper parts. So you're going to place this one at this side. I believe you can see that. Remember, we placed the first one at this other side, so the next one will be at this other side. So you start your stitch. Going to fold this edge. After folding that edge, start folding it and stitching. completed in stitching that. So now, to confirm maybe you've done the right thing or you've done the wrong thing, just place it like this and place this one on top of it. So as you can see, this one is at this side while this one is at this side. So let's join our pants to it. So here you're gonna take one of this. I'm going to take this one. So the next thing you're gonna do is just take one of this. You're going to make sure this side is facing this side. It's facing like your machine. Don't forget that. And you're going to place your pants on it. This front side, you're going to place it on it. After you place it, just pay attention to what I'm doing and follow it step by step. After you place it, as you can see, you're going to start your stitch from this. You can see these gaiters right here, but you're going to start your stitch at the back of these gaiters, right at this back. You can see I stitch at the back of the gaiters. You can see that. So now I'm going to open it into two. Can you see that? So I'm going to stitch this part also. Just fold it inside a little bit. Fold that part inside. Fold it well. Start your stitch. You're going to sew it down. Make sure you're folding it and it's balanced well. You can see what I just did. Can you see that? So after that, you're going to fold this one. This edge, this will be your the front of your pocket, that square side. So here you're going to run a very straight stitch at this point. Now we end it at that part. If you take a closer look at it now, you're going to see that the stitch is very straight. You see that? The stitch is very straight. So now we're going to, like as you can see, it's like this. I'm going to bring out my pocket. I want you guys to understand. That's why I'm doing it step by step. I take out my pocket just like this. You can see, and I'll start the stitch from here. So when I get to this part, I'm going to make a shape inside. I'll just sew it inside a little bit and I'm going to cuff it out. I'm going to show you what I did at that point. That place is very important so that you won't make a mistake. You can see what I did at that point. I sew it in, then I cuff it outside. So after cuffing it outside, it will be easier for you to make a notch at this point. Just cut it to that particular thread. Yeah, so you can easily cut out this part. So after cutting it out, you can put your hand inside the pockets and turn it over. So when you turn it over, you can have your pockets looking like this. You see what you just did? It's not a magic. If you don't get it at the first time, try and do it again. You definitely get what I just did now. So the next thing you're going to do is from inside here, you're going to stitch the edge. You can see you're going to stitch this edge. I'm just going to sew that edge round so that it's going to like hold the fabric so that when the container like use the trouser, this pocket side will not just cut out. So here, to do the closing of this part is very simple. To do the closing, you have to do this first. This place you're going to stitch it down. You're going to stitch it down. This is what I did. You see that? So here you have to pay attention to this place also. Remember we folded when we were folding the pants, this cuff side, we folded 2 inches inside here. So that 2 inches inside here, that 2 inch inside here, so we're going to like bring outside here also. So here we have 2 inch. So make sure it's not like going a little bit bigger than that 2 inch. So just make sure this is balanced well, and you measure your 2 inch here. Perfect. So you're going to hold it down and sew this place down so it won't be running. Yeah, just cut out the thread. As you can see, I have an excess at this part. It's not a problem. If you also have something like that, it's not a problem at all. Just trim it out. See how simple that is. So the same thing we did here, you're going to do it also with this other pocket. Just follow the step by step, just follow the process, do the turning, and you're going to get exactly the same result. So after this, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to weave this the two, both the right and the left side of the pants. After you do the other one, we're going to weave each side. We're going to weave even also the back also. Before we join it, we're going to weave the back also, and also this our zip cover. You can see we are going to weave this one also. So the next thing I'm going to do is weaving, and after the weaving, I'm going to come back to the sewing machine and I'm going to show you what happened next. So as you can see, I already weaved all the parts. You can see I already weaved, including the trouser and the belt strap. So the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to add our zip. So what you're supposed to do is this is the front side. So you make sure those two fronts are facing each other. Make sure these two fronts are facing each other just like this. You can see that. Our zip opening is going to be at 7 inch. If you're sewing for a child, you don't have to leave up to 7 inch. It can be like around 4 or 5 inch if you're sewing for a little child. So here we have I'll be taking, but this after the weave, you can see I already weaved it. But if you don't have a weaving machine, because you can just sew it up like that. I also wore an outfit without an inner weave before I got a weaving machine, so it's not a problem. You can just join up and continue from here. So here I'll be stitching from 7 inch. So here you just mark your 7 inch from this top part. I believe you can see it. You're going to mark your 7 inch right here. So I'll be stitching from here. So from exactly the 7-inch right here, you're going to make a stitch. So this place is a very delicate part of the body, because we mostly possibly want to run, want to sit down, want to jump, want to do whatever. So I advise you to sew this place twice in order to give it a firm stitch. So just sew this place twice, like that. So I believe you can see what I did. Then sew this place twice. So after that, the next thing you're gonna do is you have to open up the side of it, which is this side. You can see you're going to place as you can see, this is the right side of the fabric. It's also facing this right side at this straight side. So the next thing you're going to do, you're going to fold this one, fold it a little bit. You see how I fold it, so you can take it out. It's as simple as that. After folding it, so this is your zipper. You make sure this is the front of your zipper. The front of your zipper will be facing the fabric. That's the point I want to make clear. This the front of your zipper, you can see, will be facing your fabric like that. So now you're going to place this on top of it, so it will be easier for you to understand. That's why I just do it like that. So now don't forget, the front of your zipper will be facing the fabric like this. You're going to open this up, just open it up, you can see, and you're going to hold your zipper close to the weave side, just as simple as that. So now you can easily place your zipper. You make sure this metal part actually go a little bit above the pant itself. So this place is a little bit confusing, but you're going to figure it out. I believe you're smart. I believe you're smart. Yes. So you can stitch it. So you're gonna sew it down. Hey, I just got the thread. So you're going to sew it straight down. Exactly to get your 7-inch length. You can see what we have so far. This is what we have so far. You can see that, right? Simple. So now I'll be stitching this other one without the zipper. So just place it, make sure the front side is facing the front side. I'll be leaving a little bit of allowance here also for this, that zipper metal. So I'll be stitching here also. Just stitch this one straight. So I'll stitch it to this point. You can see I stitched to this point. So now I will need to use the iron. All I have to do is just to iron it like this. I'm going to open this place, iron it. I'll make sure it's balanced well, and I'm going to fold it like this, and I'm going to iron it. So let me do that quickly and show you how it looks. So as you can see, I already ironed this part. It's very simple, and I fold it over. I will make sure I fold it just straight like this, and I iron it so that part will be sharp. You can see that. So if you turn it inside, now we are going to have our zipper look like this. Can you see that? We're going to have our zipper look like this. Can you see? So the next thing you'll be doing is make sure this overlap very well so that your zipper won't be obvious. You can see that. Make sure it overlap well, maybe like just 1/4 of an inch, a little bit, not that much, 1/4 of an inch, as you can see that. So now I'll be folding this one backward and I'll be getting this particular point in which I need. You can see. So the next thing I'll be doing now, okay, I hope you can see it very well. The next thing I'll be doing now is I'll be holding this fabric, this flap here. I'll be holding it with the zipper, just the zipper. I'll be holding it with the zipper. After holding it together like this, I'll turn it just straight up like this. Now place it under the sewing machine. I'll start the sewing. I'll start the sewing. Just as simple as ABC. That part is very, very simple. You can see that. So I already stitched this I already stitched that with the fabric. So now in our front, this is what we have. You can see that. Very, very simple, right? I believe. Alright, so now after now this where we're going to do our zipper crotch. So here, if you can't like sew these parts very straight, you can chalk it and follow your chalk. But if you can sew it straight, just sew it straight. So here I'll be sewing like one quarter actually, one like this. You can see this like what I'll be sewing, not up to 1/2 of an inch. I'll be sewing this. So before I sew that, I'll be opening this one up. I won't be stitching these parts with it. So after that part is open, I measure my 1/4. Okay. After I do the mark, you need to make sure it's aligned. This place is very, very important. So your hand have to be very, very straight. So I'm going to stitch it. I'm going to curve this edge. Can you see that? Can you see that? So from behind, I'm going to cut it also. So now you can easily fold this one backward. So after folding it backward, you're going to make a stitch. I'm going to make a stitch at this edge. Very, very simple. So this stitch will be the one holding this one down from here. It's quite simple, right? So here we have our zipper fixed. Simply unzip your zipper, and we have it just like that. So the next thing we're going to do now is we are going to join each of the side of the trouser before we do the finishing, and that's all. So now to join the side of the trouser, you'll be taking each side. So first and foremost, I'll be taking this one. So just place it on this one, just like this. You can start sewing from this upper part, but basically I don't like sewing from the from this waist side. So I'm going to turn it from the down. Make sure it's straight. I'll start my stitch from here. So any overlap or any excess will be at the upper part, so I can easily cut it out. nonetheless I will not be having an overlap. So here I'll be sewing half of an inch here. I'll be sewing sew it straight. Sew that part straight up. You can see that's very simple. So the next thing we'll be doing is on this one also. Make my stitch on this one also. I'll be sewing half of an inch here also. You can see that. Okay, so far we already joined all the side and every part of it. So now I'll be taking out my darts, the back darts. So it's as simple as just folding your fabric into two. You see that? Make sure they are accurate. Fold them into two like this and place it. So here I'll be taking out, you remember we added like half of an inch here for the darts, so I'll be taking that out here. And the depth of it is going to be at 30 inch, but if you're sewing for a child it should be like 2 inch or 1.5. And you're going to slant it. You can see you're going to slant it just like this. So you're going to do the same thing here. Fold them into two. Fold them into two. Take your measurement. Make a stitch. Can see that one also. See, so far this is what we have. Our pants is almost ready. You can see that. So after this I will be adding my back pockets, which is another kind of like a little bit difficult to do, but we're going to do it together so you guys can see the process. So now the next thing I'll be doing is adding a back pocket. So we have to go to the cutting table once again and do that. So I'm just going to cut like two of this. I cut two of this actually. So this is what I'll be doing. You can see this at 7.5 body. The pockets, the welt pocket for the back trouser is going to be at 6 inch. You can get that. So but I cut 7.5, so for the allowance. So the next thing I'll be doing is I'll be adding a little bit of this freezing. want to fuse it. Don't forget, I'm actually fusing the wrong side. This is the right side of the fabric. You can see that. After that, I'm going to cut this part out. So now, at this point, I'm just going to fold this one into two in order to get the center point. So here is my center point. Okay. Remember, the width of the pocket is going to be at 6 inch, so I'm going to divide my 3 inch on the both. Sorry, they just took my light and they brought it back actually. So sorry, I don't want this to be up to 6 inch. It's going to be at 5.5. So you're going to divide your 5.5 divided by 2, and you're going to get your accurate measurements. So here is my 5.5 inch. So now I'm going to apply the same thing on this one also. Chalk out your 5.5, the center point, and your 5.5. You can see that. So that's what we're going to stitch to our trouser. So now on our trouser, you can see this. Depending on where you want the trouser to be, I want the trouser to be on the right side, which is supposed to be at this side, as you can see. This side. So here is where I'm going to add a little bit of fusing. And this dart right here, I'll be adding the fusing at this edge here. Just going to place a fusing at that point. Don't forget, this is the inside part, this is the inner, this is the right side of the fabric. So just make sure your fusing stay very well. Or if you've seen a video of how to sew a welt pocket before, you can just follow that one. It's as simple as always. So now we're going to stitch our welt pockets here. We're going to stitch this one here, and we're going to turn them inside. Also, before we start the stitching, I'm going to cut out this at 16 inch. This is what I'll be using as instead of a lining for the pockets. This is what I'll be using. This is what I'll be using to turn it over for the pocket side. But if you have a lining, you can use a lining. It's almost the same thing. So let's get to the sewing again. So the side in which you already had your fusing, you can see. Just place it like that. Now I'll be taking one of this. This one will be the one, the down part. Just make sure your hand is straight on this one. If you can't figure out a straight hand, you can just place it on the table and make a roll before you stitch on it. See that? And also, we're going to place this one in front of it. See that? Start the stitch. So let's sew it also. With a closer look, you can see what we have. But at this point, this one is actually not aligned. You can see that this has to be very, very in line so that we won't miss it. So I have to stitch that place very well. So now you can see what we have. You can see this side also. So now the next thing I'll be doing is I'll be cutting it. Let's cut this side. When you get to a little bit around here, you're going to so you're going to do the same thing at the other side. Start a stitch, start cutting. When you get somewhere around here, you're going to make a notch. Make sure you don't go beyond that cut out there. Here also, you're going to make a notch. You can see that. You can see that. So that is it so far. So now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to pull all this inside, and we're going to go to the ironing table once again. Don't get tired, it's not easy. After this one, you'll be able to do it yourself. That's why it's a step-by-step process. So we definitely remember everything you're seeing right now. Alright, you can see. So we're going to iron it down. We're going to fold our flap, our cover, before we're going to join this up in order for the turn up. So you can see after you turn it inside, so this is what we have. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to iron this part very well. Make sure it is ironed down. Yeah. So this one too. So now for the overlap, all you have to do, you just want a single overlap for the back pocket. So this is when we have to like push this one upward. Make sure it's covered that hole. Make sure it's covered up that hole. See that? I'm going to iron it. You can see that, right? So when you look at this from the front, this is what we're going to have. It's quite simple, right? So this is what we're going to have from the front side. You see that? So next thing we're going to do is we're going to stitch each of these edges. We're going to stitch both edges very well. So that is all for this part. You can see. So that's all for this part right here. So after this, you can see this is what we have. Next thing I'll be doing now is, first and foremost, I'll take this to the front. This is what we have in the front, and I'm going to stitch inside this stitch right here in order to just hold that part down. So I'm going to stitch it. As simple as that. Stitch inside that part. So the next thing I'll be doing is like this. See that. So I just stitch from the edge right here. You can see that. So this one also, let's lift it up a little bit. I'm just make sure I'm stitching this particular thing, this thing. You can see it, this one. I'm stitching it to the fabric so that it's going to hold the pockets. So if you're not seeing it before, make sure the two sides are open. So in the front also, this is what we have. We're going to iron this part very well. So it's going to be straight. So far this is what we have. Next thing we're going to do right now is let me explain something right here before we continue. If you intend to cover up this place, this your back side, like the folding with another color, let's assume you're using this white here. So what you're supposed to do is to make sure this one actually goes a little bit over this hole. Make sure this one goes over the hole like this. Make sure it goes over the hole like this, so that when they're seeing the pocket from the back, they will be seeing the same color of fabric. But as for this one that I'm using the same color of fabric, I will just have to attach this one together with this one. Just have to attach them together. So after sewing it like that, I'll need to make sure I double stitch this part so that the threading won't be showing. It's going to top stitch. Top stitching that part, very simple. The next thing I'll be doing is this. I don't know why this is not okay. Okay, you can see. The next thing I'll be doing is just folding from here. The depth of the pocket is going to be at 7 inch. You can see that. So I'm just going to fold this one up from that 7 inch. You can see that. You can see that from that 7 inch. So I'm going to start the stitching from this side. Okay, I'm going to hold it together. You already have your 7 inch. You can, I will be notching these edges so that I won't make a mistake. You can see that. So I'm going to start the stitching from this side. You can see, so I'm going to start the stitch. I want to stitch it round so I'll be able to take out this scrub. So I'll make it a curve round, edge, just like that. This one also. So when I get to this part here, I'm going to stitch this place straight. The reason why I stitch it like that, let me show you so that you won't make a mistake, is because of this part. If you do not stitch that part, this place will be obvious, this place will be open. You'll be able to put your, if you put anything in your pocket, it can go to the top part and it can fall from somewhere else. That's why we mostly stitch that part. So now I can easily cut out this excess. So you can see this is what we have. These are pockets. After cutting down that excess, I will easily, I'm going to like weave all this one around, so we're going to have a perfect and neat inside, like the neat inner. So let me weave it before we continue the whole of the sewing again, before we continue the joining. So as you can see, I already weaved the edge. Our pocket is stand and you can see that. So now I'm just going to stitch this upper part. I'm just going to stitch it to the borders, so it won't be like and now I'm going to join this one together. You can see. So now I will be taking out my 36 measurement, which